we have our CEO of the JDDB, Mr. Sales, who's a past student of NCU. Right, Mr. Sales? That's correct? Okay. We also have from the veterinary division, Dr. Albill Watson. We have from the board of the JDDB, Ms. Severin, the board of directors. The others I'm not sure their names, but I just want to say for all other important guests, it is a pleasure having you here. And let me just pause to say that the minister has joined us. So our tactics work. We wanted the minister to have the full experience of the launch. So we took our time a bit so we can get that done. So let me just pause to welcome Minister Floyd Green. So I'm going to invite Mr. Oliphant to bring greetings on behalf of the mayor, himself as a representative of the people, as well as the JS proper. Thank you.
It's quite interesting to note that today we are revitalizing the dairy industry on campus. An industry that while I was a student, we had to rely on those in the farm so that we could get milk to drink while we produce at the press so that whoever on the farm could get paper that they can work with. So it was an exchange, no problem. So we ensured at the press that all the students on the farm would get their folder leaves and the other papers that they need, while we would come down in the morning for our can of milk. And Floyd, it was so good boarding school. Nice experience that we had. And I know that coming to this spot is nostalgic, because on this spot there were many industries and many things that we know. At one stage, it was the first airstrip that we have outside of Kingston. And planes used to land down there. All of that. And then it moved on to dairy farming. And oh, it was so good that we were able to earn our way while we studied. Such a beautiful program that had made a lot of us men and women of distinction. And so we raise our hands to West Indies College and NCU education. On behalf of the mayor, we had to adjust the program. We started at 9 that we could get off by now. So because of that, the mayor has some work to do, and that's why he's not here. And he has invited me to bring greetings on behalf of the 15 councillors of the Manchester Municipal Corporation. The Manchester Municipal Corporation is a unique corporation. It's the only corporation in Jamaica that we have an agricultural committee, because we take agriculture serious. Manchester is an agricultural parish, and we take it serious. A lot of history has been born in this parish. Just around the corner was where the Martinique fruit was developed. We also have the farm. NCU has also done extensive research in sorrel and other produce. And NCU continue to be the flagship in Jamaica, not only in education, but also in agriculture. Agriculture is needed. Food is needed for our people. And unless we can feed our people, then we will be dependent on foreign nationals to feed us. And when we depend on foreign nationals to feed us, you know we are at their mercy. They can do us anything. Let us continue the work that we have before us. As policymakers, I implore you, I encourage you, let the small farmer, which is the backbone of the Jamaica agricultural society, give it some strength. Give her some strength that as we produce to feed our nation, it will not only be just feeding our nation, but making our lives a little better, a little easier. To this I say, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oliver. So I'm now going to invite Mr. Sears, the CEO, to give his remarks.
We at the Dairy Board, we recognize that to move agriculture forward, our universities and our colleges have to step up and play an important role. When you go to the US, in Texas, if you want anything on livestock, you go to Texas A&M. And we want to develop our own Texas A&Ms in Jamaica. So we expect that case should tell us which goats are the best for the region that we are in. And now we expect NCU to start making the Jamaica Hope a 25-liter cow in the future. So we're just going to take you back on the AI program that we have been pushing for these past years. On the screen right there, you can see that is Monroe College right there, just down the road in St. Elizabeth. There, we are renovating their milking parlor, and they are next in line to receive animals and to restart their dairy program. So that is a big event that is coming up. Next slide. So again, we have some of the work that we've been doing at Monroe. We can move on. No, we have a goat on the screen right now. Now, Money College in St. Ann is our center where we're working with the dairy goat development. So what we have done at Money College is to grant them a son in dairy buck. And that buck is there right now working on the farm at Money College and doing a lot of work. All right. And this is some of the things that we have done at NCU. We have cleared the land. Before it was just a lot of woods, and now it's up to running, ready to become the next dairy farm. As I said, what we plan and what we hope the college will do for us is to help us improve on our native Jamaica Hope cattle. We have given you 6 animals, all of them Jamaica Hope, and we expect them, Dr. Deslandis, to remain Jamaica Hope. All right, and NCU should help us with improving the research on the Jamaica Hope breed. Again, with our AI program that we have running now, where we provide semen and embryos to farmers, we expect now that NCU must now participate in that program. So we don't want you to just stay to the dairy. We want you to say to us now, we're ready for some beef cattle to do some research. All right, we don't want the thing to stay stagnant. Again, at the dairy board, I've brought in several different types of fodder. You know, the Mombasa grass, the Mulatto 2. And we are putting that challenge to NCU. We need research. Research is what will drive the development of the sector. So we expect when we redevelop your pastures, we should be getting some papers on how these grasses perform in Manchester. All right. Again, the main thing, we expect the next future agriculturists to come from NCU, along with CASE and the other institutions that are participating in our AI program. So, just my remarks. I hope today turned out very well. Thank you very much, everybody.
Let me now ask the president of NCU, Dr. Lincoln Edwards, to give his remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, at my inaugural dinner held in 2017 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The keynote speaker was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. And in his remarks, the Prime Minister challenged NCU to take the lead in agricultural research. The Prime Minister further indicated that because of our location in the farming belt of the country, then we were specifically and placed in that sector so that we would be able to help drive production in agriculture and also be able to assist the farmers and make a significant contribution. I know, Minister Green, that you share the Prime Minister's vision of expanding research in our existing institutions to benefit the agricultural sector. May I also remind us that when NCU became the first institution in the Caribbean and only the second outside of North America to win the prestigious International Business Model Competition in 2018, it was an agricultural research project which involved finding a non-chemical approach to destroying the beet armyworm, which wreaked havoc on scallion and other crops that farmers put a lot of money into. And it was that agricultural project that secured the win for NCU and for Jamaica from among 5,000 teams worldwide. Northern Caribbean University is therefore pleased to partner with the government of Jamaica through the Jamaica Dairy Development Board to increase milk production in the short to medium term with the aim of reducing Jamaica's import bill and satisfy the nutritional requirements of the population. In a previous phase of its development, this institution, previously known as West Indian Training School and then West Indies College, was a major producer of milk and supplied the excess to the then condensed milk factory in Yorkton, St. Catherine. Dairy farming was part of a larger agricultural enterprise, including the production of eggs and a variety of crops right here on this farm. In addition, there was a food processing plant, cannery, and bakery, which were operated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which owns the institution. As Emeritus Professor Errol Miller pointed out on pages 459 to 461 in his recent publication, Elections and Governance, Jamaica on the Global Frontier, the Colonial Years, 1663 to 1962. Professor Miller pointed out that while the British officials were using illiteracy as a stigma of inferiority to justify intentional voter suppression among the population of Jamaica, it was the Seventh-day Adventist Church at that time that was recruiting, training, and sending out colporteurs across the island. And those colporteurs were visiting homes, selling books on the streets, and bringing shopkeepers as partners in the distribution of literature across the island. The impact of that was that the volume of literacy was improved. And black males at that time who had little or no opportunities could earn money through colporting and was able to assist themselves. Professor Miller further stated that the Seventh-day Adventist Church established elementary schools and West Indian Training School, which is the precursor of NCU. At West Indian Training School, student employment in work as part of the payment of school fees, Professor Miller said, was an entirely new concept in Jamaican education. So at a time when only the children of the rich and the elite could have access to tertiary education, because of the existence of West Indian Training School and West Indies College, students from poor families who had no resources could come to NCU. Some worked on the farm, some worked on the industries, other industries, and they would earn. And they would work in the mornings, go to school in the afternoon, and the monies that they earned, some of it would be used to pay their tuition. Former Minister of Education, the late Neville Gallimore, was one such person. He worked on the farm, and there is a picture of him among the chicks. Former, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Pernell Charles Sr., he worked in the printry. And if you speak with him, he likes to show off his developed thigh muscles from pumping those presses in the printry. And well-known businessman, Mr. Dennis Morgan, who owns the Sea Garden Resort, he worked in the bakery. So all of those are just examples of persons who, with little or no resources, came to this institution and were able to go back out in society and to make a contribution. So, ladies and gentlemen, the partnership being formalized today between NCU and the Jamaica Dairy Development Board is taking the university back to its roots to make it more relevant to the current and future national developmental needs. This is a timely development, as this year the institution celebrates 25 years after receiving a charter to operate as a university from the government of Jamaica. With the resources and facilities we are receiving from the parent ministry and the Jamaica Dairy Development Board, the university is committed to establishing a flourishing dairy farming business that will be integrated into the agricultural degree program offered right here at NCU. Our aim is to transform our existing dairy operations within the dairy unit into an all-inclusive, vertically integrated activity to include animal care, reproduction, feeding management, milking, and value-added processing that provides tutorial interface and commercial output. We envision our dairy operation to include, but not limited to, pasture management for animal feed security, dairy cattle breeding program, enhanced dairy technology, research, yes, and genetic improvement and community outreach aimed at building production capacity. Of note is the fact that faculty members right here at NCU have been engaged in research and innovation in nutraceuticals, as well as farming techniques and soil management. And we know of the work for Dr. Wright and Dr. Paul Giles. NCU welcomes the support being provided by the Jamaica Dairy Development Board and the parent ministry to resuscitate our dairy program. So on behalf of the university, I say thank you. Thank you very much for the gifts that you have brought to us. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Floyd O'Brien Green is an attorney at law, member of parliament who has served as Jamaica's youngest Minister of Agriculture. Yes, he deserves a round of applause for that. A son of St. Elizabeth, he is now serving his second term as Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Southwestern, known as Jamaica's breadbasket. A champion to the food heroes, Minister Green was molded by Monroe College and further harnessed by the University of the West Indies. He read for a degree in history and a minor in political science at UWI Mona, and then was awarded his Bachelor of Law degree with honors in 2006. So he's an honors minister. So let's remember that. He received his legal education certificate from Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica and began his career as an attorney at law. Minister Green served as president of the Student Guild in Cave Hill and went on to serve as president of the Caribbean's first and largest young professional political organization, Generation 2000, G2K, an affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party. From 2016, he served in the Jamaican government as the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries in 2019, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries in 2020, and then was assigned Minister with responsibility for digital transformation in the Office of the Prime Minister. During his years of service, he is credited with tabling Jamaica's national youth policy, forming Jamaica Youth Advisory Council, reforming Jamaica's Child Protection Agency, Child Protection and Family Services Agency, assessing the impact of Jamaica's creative industry. So he's an action minister. He gets a lot of things done. As Minister of Agriculture, he crafted Jamaica's new Face of Food strategy, which focused on strengthening food security, developing agribusiness, introducing climate-smart technologies, and expanding exports. He is responsible for major advancements with Jamaica's first national ID by way of the National Identification System, NIDS, and he has provided birth certificates free of cost for the nation's most vulnerable through the introduction of a program called Operation Birthright. He is currently serving the people of Jamaica as Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Mining. Minister, we are pleased to have you here at NCU. You're always welcome here, and it is a joy. We look forward to hearing your presentation. But before the minister comes, we will be featured with a presentation from the music department of Northern Caribbean University. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm very happy to be here today. And I have to start by just commending the work of Dr. Lincoln Edwards. I think NCU has a wonderful president. I say it in front of his face, behind his back, he has been doing a tremendous job. And one of the things I like about Dr. Edwards is that he genuinely cares for his students. And if he could take every dollar to give them to ensure that they can access tertiary education, he will do that. So Dr. Edwards, keep up the good work. It is not going unnoticed, I can tell you that. So Dr. Edwards and members of the academic auxiliary team from NCU, I'm very happy that we have the Jamaica Union members are here with us. And when I hear that the secretary is here and the treasurer is here, makes me feel very good, especially when the treasurer is here. Because when the treasurer is at something like this, it means he's contemplating Mr. Oliphant, whether he can write the check. But, you know, I'm not surprised. Dr. Edwards smart, and make sure I invite him. Of course, our members of the Dairy Development Board, Dr. Deslandes is actually the chairman, and you would have heard from Mr. Sayers. We have our Chief Veterinary Officer, Dr. Osbill Watson, is here. Maxim is here from Windalco, and remember, we are the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Mining, and you may know Windalco has a significant herd and is a significant part of what we do at the Dairy Development Board. Other specially invited guests, members of the media, students. Good morning, everybody. It is really, sorry, I'm really happy to be here today. And I'm happy to be here for a number of reasons. You know, for a very long time, we speak and we have spoken about the challenges that agriculture faces. And of course, agriculture faces a lot of challenges. But we have to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to continue to sally moan and throw our hands up in the air? Are we going to take the steps that are needed to ensure that we have a strong and vibrant agricultural sector? I've always said that my time at the ministry has to be marked not by talk, but by action, by ensuring that we do the things that we know we need to do so that generations to come will be able to benefit from our work here today. And this program ties directly into the vision that I have for the ministry and that the government has for agricultural sector. Because let us be clear, our agricultural sector cannot progress further than our research agenda. If you do not have a strong research agenda for agriculture, then you will always be lagging behind. Also, our agricultural sector cannot progress further than the capacity of our training. Because if you do not have people with the requisite skills to drive agriculture, then you will continue to lag behind. So today, what we're really doing is pushing our research agenda and ensuring that we partner with institutions that have shown great capacity in research and in training. And NCU stands front and center in that regard. And I'm happy that President shared some of the stories because a lot of people do not know that NCU has a rich agricultural history. You would have heard about the times when you had a dairy that was running and operational. But you also did a lot of work in strawberries. In fact, you were one of the first institution to embark on large-scale production of strawberries. Things like Ortonique, oranges. NCU has that rich history. But not only does it have that history, the students of NCU have over the last few years taken keen interest in looking at some of the issues facing our agricultural sector and developing technology-based solutions for it. And that is what we want to applaud and we want to facilitate. So again, you would have heard, we have been challenged and continue to be challenged in our onion belt, in our scallion belt from the beet armyworm. And I remember when the young gentleman and the team were developing their program for the competition, he came and sat with me, President, in my office, to say that he wanted some farmers to do trials with to help them treat with the beet armyworm. And I said, this is what we need. Not just research, but applied research. Research that can be utilized in the field, that can help our farmers do what they love, but do it more profitably and solve some of their challenges. So we are here to leverage that opportunity. We're here to leverage the opportunity in relation to the research capacity of NCU. We're here to leverage a training opportunity, and we're here to apply that to our dairy sector. Our dairy sector has faced significant challenges over the years. There was a time that a number of schools, a number of people used to depend on our dairy sector. In fact, I tell the story all the time. You know, I've had direct interaction with our dairy sector. When I went to high school, thankfully at that time, agriculture science was not a theoretical subject. It was a practical subject. So what it means is that you literally had to spend time on the farm. So each term we would rotate through an aspect of the farm. So we would spend some time in the piggery. Nobody wanted to spend some time in the piggery. You would have to deal with the chickens and go and harvest your eggs. and we would spend some time on our dairy farm. And at that time, you never had any machines, so you had to hand milk the cows. And I must tell you, for the life of me, I was never good at it. In fact, thank God for my best friend. He grew up on a dairy farm. And when I try, and the little droppings in my bucket, I have to say, you Shane, come give me some help. And when him grip and start milk, boy, he had a talent. But outside of that, I was able to see the challenges that the dairy sector face through really bad policy. And in the 90s, my best friend, he was funded through dairy. His father was a massive dairy farmer. And I tell you, we started high school and he was well off because dairy was doing well. And then during the 90s, unfortunately, our dairy sector was decimated because of imports. So I'm here to say that will not happen again under this minister. That will not happen under this minister. But again, we spoke about it for years. We spoke about the fact that it declined, and we spoke about, oh, what was a day when we used to have dairy. But, you know, a little has been done to bring it back, and we're changing that now. So we are leading the dairy sector revitalization program, and we're taking a full 360 approach to revitalize our dairy sector. It starts from doing the research work to ensure that the breeds of cattle that we developed years ago, that they are still strong, and that the decline that they have suffered, that we bring them back through using new technology like artificial insemination. We've assembled a team at Bodles. We've put some resources into Bodles to give them a new milking parlor to help to do the research work to bring back our Jamaica hope. And NCU now is a part of that journey. So what we're doing here today is announcing a significant partnership with NCU to, one, develop at least 40 acres of fodder. And we're going to do that for you free of cost. The government is going to take care of that cost. Because you can't have a strong dairy sector unless you have the nutritional elements that the cattle need. But additionally, we are also going to construct for you a new milking parlor. So that is something that is going to happen. And we are already committed to give you 6 Jamaica Hope cows. The cows are already here for you to start the work. Clearly, what we want from NCU is clear. We want the research work, right? We want you to look at the performance of our Jamaica Hope and to do the research work to help us to move that performance further. At one time, we were considered world lead. No, we're not seeing that. And if we're really going to move the needle in terms of dairy, we have to up our milk production. And that means we have to up the amount of liters we get from our cattle. So we're going to expect you to do the work in that. Also to do the work on our fodder banks and how we appropriately set up fodder banks and what type of grass is best suited for our changing climate. Very important if we're going to drive the development of our dairy sector. Additionally, clearly, we want to see you doing more training work so that when the ministry, when Surge Island, when UC Russell are looking for technical people to work in their areas, they can turn to NCU. We want you to train the next generation of agriculturalists, but not just agriculturalists. I want to give you a special task. Because when I sat with my dairy team last week, and 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about hope and the Jamaica Black and the plans that we have, I said to them, we love to revere in the work of T.P. Lecky, and we should do so. But where is the new T.P. Lecky? Where is the new researcher that is coming to me as minister, as a minister? I have developed a new breed that is better. That is a Jamaican breed. That just the world turned to T.P. Lecky and Jamaica to lead. NCU has to develop the next generation of T.P. Leckys. And that is your task. So we're on this journey, and NCU is part of this journey. So part of what we're doing is not just at the tertiary level, but at the secondary school level. We're ensuring that we rebuild the dairy sector through our training institutions. So you would have heard and you would have seen some of the pictures. We're working to build back milking parlors. We're providing cows for a number of our schools so that they can infuse that in their training model and give our students practical approaches to treat with agriculture. We're doing some genetic work. We're building back our stock. We're also doing work on the community level, working with our community-based farmers, again, bringing in the technology. So we've brought in mobile milkers, and I have a wonderful story out of St. Thomas. Again, used to hand milk under a tree. We would have built them a new parlor, brought a mobile milker. When I went out there, they were so happy because instead of making money one time per day, they're now making money 2 times per day. And they're seeing better outcomes for their family. And that's why we're doing this work, to better the lives of the people who participate in our agricultural sector. So we are serious about driving growth in dairy, and not just in relation to our cows, but as you would have heard, we're also looking at our goats, our small ruminant sector, high valued product in relation to goat milk. And I'm saying, Dr. Edwards, let us quickly move to have the same sort of partnership around our goats. We're doing some work in Monique. There's a lot of work to be done. So we want to do some work here on NCU. We would have removed the duty from the importation of goats so that we could have brought in new breeds. We have brought in 2 or 3 dairy goat breeds. And we're seeing the results from that. And I don't know if you know. Anybody know what's the cost for the average box of, say, cow milk? Let's hear. $600. Yes. Anybody know what's the average cost for the same size of goat milk? 1,400, 1,600 for the same size. And that's just the milk. We haven't spoken about the cheese. We haven't spoken about the wonderful goat milk rum cream. I won't suggest that to you, doctor. But, for those of us who, the opportunities are endless, but it starts here. So I really want to congratulate the team at NCU. We're looking to do a lot more with you, and I'm signaling it now. This is just one element, but I believe every program that we have at the ministry, we could seek to partner with NCU. And that is something that I'm very interested in, right? We have been, despite the changes in climate, and I'll close with this. So we do have what we call the new face of food strategy. And this is a big element because our first priority is food security. Then we look at agribusiness development, climate smart technologies, and export expansion. Last year, despite having the driest and hottest year ever in the history of our country, ever recorded in the history of our country, our farmers were still able to produce their second highest ever production. So sometimes we're not recognizing that despite the challenges, and we do have a lot, we are building resilience in our agricultural sector. What we have been doing to do that is provide more access to water. So over the last 4 or 5 years, the government has pumped about $10 billion into building out irrigation networks for our farmers. We're doing retention ponds. We have bought more trucks. We've commissioned more wells so that they can have water. But what I again want is to ensure that when they get the water, President, they're using it in the best possible way. I come back around to research. And we terribly need some research in the area of agricultural water use. Again, that's another challenge that I'm throwing out to your team and to your students so that we can ensure that as the climate continues to change, and the hard part is when you listen to some of the projections, because I said last year was the driest and the hottest. And a lot of people say last year might be the coolest year in years to come. So we have to continue to keep ahead of our changing climate. So today is a good day. Today is a good day for agriculture. Today is a good day for dairy sector. Today is a good day for NCU. And I'll close by saying NCU is very near and dear to my heart. I have no choice but to love NCU, right? I couldn't say it at the start because then you would hear say, and well, my wife is at NCU alum. So I think one thing it shows is that I choose wisely. God bless you, everybody.
Thank you, Minister. Can I have another round of applause for the Minister, please? Thank you. And now I have Honorable Franklin Witter, who came in while the Minister was speaking, so I'm going to ask him to come to the podium to give brief remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Minister, members of the team here at NCU, members of the team from the ministry, our farmers, community members. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Minister Green, you have always chosen wisely. And that is why we are here today, because you have chosen to have this kind of an intervention here at NCU. And I think this is a wise move, because I know, given my own experience, that the Northern Caribbean University will make good use of this program. And I'm looking forward to great success as we seek to ensure that we improve the dairy industry. I know that growing up as a child, I remember when the dairy trucks used to come around in the communities to pick up the milk. We have fallen way below that, and I think this is a very, very good program as we seek to develop the industry once more. I'm looking forward to working with the team at the ministry, looking forward to working with my minister, Floyd Green, and the Jamaica Dairy Development Board, and NCU and the other educational institution that we have made this kind of an intervention. We have already started a program at ELM. Minister mentioned the other schools, not only tertiary institution, but the secondary schools that we are seeking to revitalize the dairy industry. I look forward to working with you, and I do hope that this program will be a success. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Minister Witter. So we're going to move straight to the sign of the MOUs.